experience is the experiment.
Today's guest hails from Anchorage, Alaska, or Alaska as a whole, and possibly somewhere else before, but he's calling himself an Alaska man. He's an artist, he's a songwriter, but at the core of it all, he's a storyteller. I fell in love with his song 99 Corolla, and I've been waiting a long time for him to come from Anchorage all the way to LA, and now he is here. Please welcome today's guest, Medium Build.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much for that beautiful introduction.
So, explained, and we were talking about it a little bit before.
Yeah.
You live in Alaska, but you're not technically from Alaska, but you've been there for a minute.
Yeah. So I grew up in Atlanta. I'm one of two siblings. My older brother, he's my hero. I followed him up. He moved to Anchorage in 2009. I was 18 at the time. I moved up just to kind of get away from society. And I lasted about 6-7 months of winter. And then I was like, fuck this. Moved back home. And then moved to Tennessee for like 5 years. Try to find like music. Try to do music shit.
Totally.
Went to school, like started a band.
Where'd you go to school out there?
Middle Tennessee State.
Okay.
Out in Murfreesboro, outside of Nashville. And then, I just got fucking burnt out doing the music like thing. Dude, my band broke up, and then I was like trying to do like songwriting for hire stuff and like writing music for anything like podcasts and little TV sound. And I hit a wall. I was like, I don't enjoy what I'm making. A lot of my friends are like trying to be so specific with the mic. Like everything was so clean and so.
Yeah, that's not my world.
Yeah. And it was not going to be my world. I knew I was too dirty. So I just was like, I'm out here. I got to go see my brother again. And turns out a little bit more wisdom, a little bit more financial security. It's easier to get through winter. If you pick up a hobby, started skating, playing hockey with friends, started learning how to ski, got the fat tire bike. So now winter is like the best. Man. Winter's the goal. Winter's the fucking thing you look forward to.
We were talking about this a little bit before, and it's probably the main thing that I focus on throughout as many podcasts as I can is sustainability as a human.
Yeah.
You know, sustaining your music career is only possible if the human is there to do it. And if you're not sparking up the pieces of the human that needs to be there, if you're not excited about things, if you're not doing things that are new, that stimulate your mind, that make you think, then I promise the music side will be that much harder. And you clearly figure that out to a T.
Yeah, man, it took a long time. And I mean, I don't know if a lot of people think about that in those terms. Like, I think a lot of people think that to keep music sustainable means to keep it profitable. And it's really not the case. You're so right. Like for it to be any craft, right? If you're a writer, if you're a singer, if you're a fucking comedian, if you're like a dancer, like if you don't have some shit that you love to do that isn't your hustle, you're going to get fucking cooked. And that was me in Nashville. I was just like, all I did was drink and like go to music shit and like hobnob with musicians and drink and bartend and then like drink and like talk shit about music. And like, it just got toxic, man. Now like all my friends are like pilots and nurses and like dentists, and we all bond doing our activities. We all bond going skiing, going and fucking ice skating. Like no one asks what you do. No one gives a shit.
Well, and everything that you just said that you do are all tasks that require you to be fully there. If you're skiing and you're not thinking about your skiing, you're hitting a tree or you're hitting somebody, you're falling, and your day is done. Yeah. It's like the reason that so many fucking of these tech guys are surfers is because they need something where when they're doing it, that's all they're doing. Yeah. That's it. Skateboarding, playing hockey. If you're not paying attention, first of all, you're sure as hell not going to be a good part of the team, but you're also going to get wrecked.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if you can have something that's sustainable but also takes your head away, like when I go camping every weekend and I don't have service, there's no choice. It's not like maybe if I go 5 feet over here, I'll find service. Like, no, you just don't have it. You have to be wherever you are, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's so important. Have you been doing a lot of this stuff for a while? Like, were you skiing growing up? And
No, dude. I was raised by fucking like some real inside cats. Like, we did not go camping. We did not go hiking. I didn't learn to ski until I was 26, 25 years old. Like, all this is new. Like, I was my parents both were like born in the 50s. Like they their parents were all Depression era people. Like their whole thing was survival.
Yeah.
My dad was like a class jumper. Like he got up out of poverty and went to school and tried to get us into the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
And so like his whole thing was like opportunity and, you know, you're going to play that sport, not because moving your body is good, but because I wasn't allowed to play sports. So
Totally.
you can play whatever. So he like put us in everything. But like, I remember one time we went fishing as a kid and we went to like one of those things where they dump the fish in and you just pull it out, you know? And, yeah, I was like overweight and like my mom, her love language is like food. So she just fed us. And so it wasn't until like 18 that I lost some weight and started like jogging that I kind of felt like I like came into my own body.
Totally.
And then I've spent the past 10 years pretty much just like trying to figure out what that is like.
Absolutely. And how to do something where you're helping your body, but you're also feeling good while you're doing it.
Yeah.
I just started, I'm saying I'm the least active person is not true because I do a lot of active things that are, for me, they're not active. They're just fun, like hiking or climbing or whatever. But I got into running over COVID and just like finally for the first time enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the difference of when you're enjoying something, you can go so much farther. You can do so much more.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Were you kind of starting to realize that it was helping with other parts of your life when you started doing that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know if we were recording yet, but I'm a pretty anxious person, right? Like I didn't realize I had a lot of anxiety, but then when I started running, when I was like 18, 19, 20 years old, I learned how much better I felt afterwards. And then there was like days would go by where like if I missed a run, I'd be like, holy fuck, I'm in a badass mood today. Like I do not feel good. I feel like I'm going to like snap.
Yeah. It becomes palpable.
Yeah. And so, yeah, running was the first thing because it was super accessible. Anyone can do it, right? You don't need gear. You just need some fucking shoes from Target or Kohl's. Like,
it's just if you're willing to get up and do it, it'll happen.
Yeah. And it's so funny. Cheers. In college, man, I was like always like like drinking until like, you know, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., waking up, going on long ass runs, sort of detoxing, going to work, and then like jamming at night and like kind of redoing the whole thing. But like,
do you know who Bert Kreischer is, the comedian?
Yeah.
That reminds me of him, like he'll go and he'll get plastered, but then he's up at 6 a.m. to work out or run or something.
Yeah.
It's I'm blanking on the Mickey Mantle gene.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have that.
No, I thought I did. And then I turned fucking 30 and then I'm like, oh no,
you start to feel it.
Yeah.
I actually just was at his roast a couple days ago.
Oh, nice.
With Whitney Cummings.
How was that?
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So many people thought I was Young Gravy. Which and then he walked in. Behind me was Theo Von, Young Gravy, and Miranda Cosgrove. And it was just such a trip.
Two gravies, man.
Two gravies.
You're the gravy duo.
All in one boat.
But yeah, man, I don't think that I talk about trying to move my body a lot in like interviews and even in my like fucking online discourse. I try to like encourage people to stretch and find something that they like to do. And I realize there's that like some people didn't grow up with that and they have this like just no comfort level to going hiking. But even like my thing in COVID was I got really into like YouTube yoga. Like now I'm up on that shit. Like, and you know, I'm not crazy. I can't like put my foot over, you know, behind my head, but my 10 to 45 minutes on the mat doing whatever, like makes me not want to die for like X amount of hours, which buys me like another day.
It's so true that if you can put yourself through stress, more stress that is your own, that is put there for you, then the stress throughout the day will feel minimized.
Yeah.
And it's so accurate. And I mean, literally just like you're saying, like it buys you some more time.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. It's how can I make the next 5 hours less painful?
Yeah. Yeah. I think about that too when I'm jogging, if I'm like getting to the point where I'm ready to quit or if I'm coming back towards the house and I know I'm near the house, I'm like, I can walk the last bit. And I'd be like, what else do I fucking struggle? Like, what other obstacles do I have? Like you kind of have to invent obstacles. Like, that's such a fucking white dude thing to say, but like, you know, it's like the people got money and they're doing well when they start getting in those goddamn ice baths. You know, like
Absolutely.
they're like, I need a struggle today.
Have
Like,
you done one?
no,
Dude, the best thing in the
Really?
world. The best. My
Yes.
girlfriend works at a place, so we get to go a couple times a week. We're not paying for it
Yeah.
because it's free. So
Sick.
little less privileged.
When do you do it in the morning?
I do it after work. I do
Okay.
it at night. But
Okay.
the difference in my body that night and the next day, wow, she's adorable.
Yeah, she is. This is Luna. You guys already know.
She's here to stay. The difference in my mental and physical just well-being it's the biggest change. Outside of running, it's the biggest change I've ever had in my life.
Oh shit.
It's incredible. What they're saying is going between doing, I think it's 3 times a week, doing 3 minutes in the ice bath, 15 minutes in the sauna, and 3 rotations of that, and ending on an ice bath. So your body has to kind of pull its temperature back up. Build heat shock proteins, which they're saying can decrease all-cause mortality by 40%.
Whoa.
It's like the key to living a longer life is heat shock proteins.
Holy fuck.
I mean, I'm a musician who gets high. Don't take that word for word, but that's your fault if you do. But yeah, it's incredible. There's just so many things that are like Swedish people and have been doing it for years. They have like these little pools where they walk around in them and they're ice cold.
Yeah.
But it gets the circulation in your feet moving, and it helps with bring down inflammation. It helps get your body temperature to level out, your heartbeat level out. I mean, it's epic,
dude.
Definitely recommend. You could probably go not too far and get some cold in Anchorage.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of. I just assume that's me going on a jog or a bike ride.
But that's the difference, is you have that set sort of struggle that you have to do in order to just do one of your activities.
Yeah.
I live in LA where it's beautiful and like it's cold today and it's 55.
Yeah.
Like it's not that cold.
Yeah.
But there's like, I grew up in the Midwest where going to take the trash out was
Detroit,
like,
you guys get negatives, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
-20, like 15 with
At
the
least
wind chill and shit. Yeah.
And I lived in Chicago for school, which
yeah.
was just a different hell.
Yeah.
It was amazing, but it was a different hell. And I don't think there is something, it builds a sort of resilience.
Yeah.
Growing up that I definitely wouldn't change, but now I'm just trying to find it in beautiful sunny LA.
Yeah. I love hearing your lens of LA, man. So many cats are like, man, if you want to live in nature, don't go there. And you're just proof that it's up to you.
I think if you live in LA and you're not doing all the things you love, as far as stuff like that are free, going to see the mountains, going to be in the trees, whatever it is, going to take, jump in the water. If you're not doing that, then first of all, I believe it's your fault.
Yeah.
Because it's so accessible here and it's so built into the culture if you do it correctly. And it's like people say there's so many assholes in LA. There's just so many people.
Yeah.
When you get a regular state and you first of all make it the hub of all things entertainment, but then you also times it by 50.
Yeah.
Everything's timed by 50. That's the assholes. That's the good people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sweet people that are going to make you feel at home. That's the people that are going to make you feel at the odd man out. That's all there. And if you search for the right people and you get yourself in the right room, the right people know more right people.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing that, that list grows and grows and your family grows. And
yeah.
I really think LA can be the most amazing place, but somebody with a shitty attitude here probably going to have a shitty attitude anywhere.
Yeah.
That's something that's worth changing no matter what.
Bro, you are preaching to me, man, because that's why I left Nashville to go to Alaska to get my mind right. I knew I wasn't in a good place. I knew I wasn't approaching music with a super good lens. I was following people and trying to be in like the cloud, trying to be in like spaces that were cool, and it was performative. It was performative for me, and I needed to get away. And like, I think that's something that is so internal. That work is internal, and it's why you go camping. It's why I fucking go on like long runs to try to forget myself.
Totally.
Like
when people quit before they found what they were looking for so many times, and like I'd say all of my original best friends I had when I was a baby, I've had them since then. I had the same friend group from high school, middle school, elementary school till today. And they're my best friends in the world. I love them to death, but it was based off of geography. It was based off of all these things that I wouldn't change anything in the world. They're the reason I'm here, or a huge impetus at least. But in the past 4 years, 3 years, I'd say maybe even 2, since starting this podcast, I've met, I'd say 85% of the people that are going to hold my kid and stand up at my wedding. And the only difference is it's not like I've changed places. I've been here for 6 years.
Yeah.
The only thing I changed is I was looking for somebody more specific. I was
Mm.
looking for people that when I told them I go camping, their eyes light up.
Yeah.
When I tell them my philosophy on what I'm looking for in family and the chosen family and the humans around me, their eyes light up. And it's like people like you, like when I listen to your music, the reason I fell in love with your music is I fell in love with the storytelling and this your ability to kind of put me in this place. Like when you're talking a 99 Corolla, you're talking about this car, which so many people, like they joke about these old cars, their first car, they're this, they're that. But for you, it was this thing that kind of helped you, transition from being a child into growing up. Like it was this thing that helped propel you as a vehicle. And the way you talked about it was just like the people that can talk about things in life like that, that's who I want in my life. The people who can find the littlest, smallest things and find complete joy and love in them and growth, whether it was positive or negative. And there's so many of us out here. There's so many of us. And if you look for it, I promise you'll find it. I promise.
Dude, that's my girlfriend, my partner, Grace. She's just one of those people, man. She just fucking loves the small shit. And I didn't have a lot of people like that for a while. And I had to rebuild that in Alaska. I had to exactly what you're saying, man. The chosen family, who do you want on your, on your deserted island type vibe?
Exactly.
It's like, I want people who are curious. I want people who laugh more than they complain.
Yeah.
I want people who want to build stuff. I want people who want to be honest to a fault. Like, that's kind of the Alaskan spirit too. It's like, if you complain, if you sit inside, you'll die. Like maybe not that year, but like you can sit inside and eat and drink and smoke yourself silly.
And just because you're breathing doesn't mean you're living. That's, there's so many people who found joy in the things they had because they weren't willing to go look for the things they wanted.
Yeah.
It's so you can convince yourself that you love your life, even if you don't. But if it's the people who are willing to realize and tell themselves, I don't love my life. Who am I kidding? I know I don't, yet I tell myself every day I do. And I'm not willing to go do the few things that it takes to go start. You don't need to jump right in. You just need to do one little step at a time. And that'll help bottleneck into this whole new world that truly makes you feel wanted and loved all the time. And it's possible. There's no reason not to have that.
Yeah.
There's no reason at all. Is your girlfriend from Alaska as well, or lived there?
No, she's raised military, moved all over, so that's kind of helpful. We met in COVID. She was up there for a travel contract, and she's down to just kind of go around and kind of see what happens. So we're fixing to move here in the next couple months, and this next summer, and just maybe bounce around for a while, like try out some different parts of the country, like see what, maybe chase different regions based on activities, like do more rock climbing, or maybe we want to get more like river stuff, or maybe we want to go do some more mountain stuff, or maybe we want to get more whatever, and kind of see how that affects my writing and see how it affects our lives. Like just
when you're ready, let me take you guys around for a couple days.
Please.
I'll show you that there's not only rivers here, but there's mountains here. There's the people, there's snowboarding, there's surfing. There's so much here that people don't look for and they don't know to look for. It's epic. I mean, I could take you within an hour of here. I could take you on an hour hike through the mountains that ends up at hot springs. And it's just like, there's so much here for people. There's so much here, and there's so many creative people. But I mean, I guess anywhere you go, as long as you have that mindset, you're good to go. You're going to enjoy yourself. That's all you need.
It helps to have a homie, a guide,
Totally. Well, it's also the hardest part of LA is the fact that you are combing through a lot of people. There's a lot of no's before you find the yeses, which is fine. And that's how you know that they were worth finding.
Yeah.
But having a little community that you can go and hopefully fits the bill a little bit off the bat is so helpful.
Yeah.
And there's just so many good people. We were just talking about Mikey Ferrari, about Will, about Alt Bloom, all these people where right away, based off of your storytelling, but also just the human aspect that we've been talking about, I feel like you would get along with so well just right off the bat.
Yeah.
And they all love your music too.
Yeah. I'm just, that's my thing big time is like I want to be around people who love shit, that love anything.
Absolutely.
Like Grace is obsessed with dogs. That's
You got to
like,
bring her by sometime.
oh, dude, I literally just dropped her off at LAX. I'll bring her next time.
Is
Yeah,
she going back to Alaska right now?
Yeah, she works weekdays. She's in the school system now.
What's that flight like?
It's usually Seattle layover, pretty much pretty stock. Like from LA to Seattle, that's what 2.5.
Yeah.
And then Seattle to Anchorage is like 3.5.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad.
It's like going back to Detroit for me.
Yeah.
Not that far off.
Yeah, just depending on weather, depending on that. Sometimes getting out of town. So when you're leaving Anchorage, they'll put you on like a 1 a.m. out, like doing that red eye. Then you're kind of stuck at Seattle airport for like 4 hours, and then you finally hop on. But it's exhausting. It takes a whole day out of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Flying is weird. Flying is a weird sort of thing because it's the inevitable to get to where you want to go, but it's just like it's the test to see if you want to enjoy yourself. Where you're going, you have to like pass the test on the way.
Yeah.
You have to keep your sanity.
Well, flying is like why we kind of have been thinking about moving. It's like I'm traveling a lot more for work now and playing shows and doing tours and writing with people and doing sessions and stuff, and like just the fucking flying, man.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of time at the airport. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. And I don't know. I've come into this weird love for airports. Like they kind of feel cozy now.
I agree.
Like
I like throwing my headphones on, some glasses, a
walking.
hoodie, and just pretending like I'm watching it versus there.
Yeah.
Like it's a TV show and it's fun. You can people watch, think of some ideas, pull up Ableton while you're sitting down.
Dude, I'm always writing. I'm always getting a little drunk and just sketching down little ideas. And
absolutely.
Fucking, I love Seattle Airport. Is this huge, like you can walk from the international terminal. You're not separated. So you can walk like pretty much like 2 miles.
God, that's the best.
And you can I'll just do it a couple different laps.
I'm the person who goes like 2 hours early. And I'm
Yeah.
not even worried about being late. I don't like the fact that if I am late, there's that struggle of trying to get there in time. I don't like that mindset being part of my day.
Feeling. Yeah.
I'd rather know that I have to sit an extra hour and a half and go explore, do whatever, watch a movie. But like, I like going and just exploring. I take my edible before.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, smoke a joint on the way. And when you get there, you're just kind of like a little bit of
it starts coming up while you're going through security and you're like, all right, I'm here. I've entered the matrix. Yeah.
I once, when I was younger, I have terrible eyes, and I went to this snowboard camp in Oregon over the summer at Mount Hood. And on the way back, I think it was on the way back. Sorry, I got on the wrong plane, and they scanned my ticket and everything. I couldn't see my ticket. I was having a lot of issues. I lost my glasses, and the stewardess, helped me, but put me on the wrong plane. And 30 minutes in, they called my name. They're like, is Bradley Levine on this plane? And I'm like, fuck. We went and got another plane. I don't remember how I brought that up, but it happened.
But before they took off.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
beautiful.
like after waiting, I was like, why is this plane not going? It's been like 45 minutes. We're just sitting here.
Amazing.
It was me.
Bradley Levine is like on his way to fucking Mexico right now.
Well, that's the funny thing. It was going to the same place. It was just a different flight. And I was just like, nobody's here. Nobody needs my seat. Just let me fucking stay. But no.
They pulled you off.
Yeah, to get me into the same exact place 20 minutes later.
Dude, so yeah, you've got some airport. Mm-hmm. You've lived some airport.
Yeah,
Have you ever flown with Luna?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
Easy as can be.
Under the airport or in the seat with you?
In the seat with us.
God.
She's
this is a lap dog.
She's the
Y'all
best.
See this?
She sits right in our lap the whole time. She won't make a sound. She's easy as can be. We'll give her some CBD. Give me a couple.
Yeah.
Call it a day. She's technically a service animal. We originally got her to be.
Yeah.
If we use her as that all the time, I wouldn't say. I'd say actually.
Yeah.
She brings service to all of us.
She's serving me right now.
Exactly. Yeah, she's a service dog. She's got a red vest on right now.
Yeah. You got your little vest. Luna.
She's happy.
Luna, tell him what's up.
She's so happy.
Dude.
So tell me a little bit about music for you. What's new? What's going on?
Oh man. We are in this super fun, cool phase right now of having to get our assholes sniffed by a bunch of labels and publishers.
Yeah.
And it's not my favorite, bro.
Yeah.
It is not my favorite.
It's a weird sort of got to play a part that's not always the right part.
Yeah, it's like it's a really cool version of dehumanizing, you know? It's like
That's a really good way to
the
put it.
sexiest version of that, you know? It's like I was in Nashville for a couple weeks and took some meetings, and then they flew like one of the labels flew us and me and my lord to New York. We took some meetings there, and then I've been here for this week, and I have another week here, and so we're doing meetings here. A bunch of them came out to like the school night and the Angus Cohen show. But it's like it's just it's business, man. Like
It's a
my
little
songs
gross.
aren't business; they're just songs, right? Like,
Yeah, it's a little gross part of the industry. But you also got to remember that the people, because I work for a label,
yeah,
and I mean they're a very small indie label, so it's a very different thing. But
Trust me, I live for the experiment. But there is one place in my life that I don't want to be an experiment, and that's when trimming my balls. Luckily, the Performance 4.0 package is here. Inside this package, you will find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, the Performance boxer briefs, and a new travel bag to hold all of your new favorite things. I needed the Lawnmower 4.0 so much more than I ever realized. This thing has a ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents, all thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, a flashlight so I can actually see where I'm trimming, and not only that, but this thing's waterproof so I can trim just about anywhere. I love this thing, and I love the whole 4.0 package, from the lawnmower, the weed whacker, the crop preserver, the crop reviver, and all the free gifts they threw in. Trust me, fellas, your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
I do a lot of that A&R work, and the part about the A&Ring that I love is feeling like you get to help somebody get a chance, and like finding somebody in that part of it. And that's something that I always think about whenever I'm talking to somebody who's in a similar situation, is like, it's going to be what it is the whole time. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
But like, remember that the person who's finding you, that is the best thing that they've ever done. That is so exciting for them.
Right.
That is like them being creative.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it helps, but
no, it does. And I think that's the difference between the indies and the majors. And we haven't obviously picked anyone yet. We're still doing the whole dance. And but I don't want to hop in bed with someone who's not excited to be with me, right? So like we got some guy took us to dinner on Thursday, and then Friday night he was front row at the show. So to me, that's like already like leaps and bounds ahead. Because I'm like,
huge.
He's into it. He got there on time. He fucking worked himself to the front, and he's like sitting there like mouthing lyrics along. Like this dude's like
Probably by himself too.
Yeah, like, he flew into town for the thing. Like, and so that's just that thing where you're like, that's cool. That's fun. That's the fun version of it. That's the really nice version of it. Yeah, I'm tired. I haven't worked my like real bartending job in a couple months, and I'm like just desperate to go hang out at work and like not be medium build. I'm like so excited to go be a human.
How'd you get the name Medium Build?
Oh man, I was at an art exhibit, and they were doing like sketches of people's like old exes that have got, like the one that got away. Describe your ex that got away.
That's so interesting.
And
damn, I love that actually.
So you described your lover, and this FBI sketch artist draws them. And it was supposed to be an experiment on how like memories warp, and they turn around. It's like, oh, it's not really how they looked, but like how, especially when they're the person that.
Is she dead on you?
Especially when they're the ones that like get away, how much our shit like just distorts.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I was on like a second date. We're in the car right on the way home. She goes, how would you describe me? And I was like, well, and before I could get to the nice stuff, I did like all like the CSI just found a dead body, and I was like brown hair, brown eyes, medium build, and I was about to get to like rosy cheeks and like like the cutest laugh and all that shit. But before I get there, she was like medium build. What the fuck? Like, why would you think I'm not a dead body? Like, I just was like, well, what am I'm like, that's just some.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Some people are. It's frames, man. I got a thick trunk. I'm a. You won't be catching me in a medium. Like,
Well, there's also like, at the end of the day, I'd say most people are a medium build. Like,
yeah.
If you're not the 4'3" girl with a small voice, you're not a small person. There's smaller people, and that's
Right.
fine.
Anyway,
I'm sure as hell a medium
we
build.
dated for a while. She told my roommates. We came out when she told my roommates that I called her that, and then they called her that for a while. And then when I started the project, it just felt like the best way to not take it seriously, because I started medium build as kind of like a joke.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
I almost changed it, and then all my bandmates were like, "Do not change it."
No, like we were just talking earlier. Like Loverboy is a weird name for someone to be just like, "Hey, Loverboy, like good to meet you."
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's also because that's my name, so
Yeah.
it's weird for me.
Yeah,
But like, if people just called you medium,
yeah.
like it works. It's just this like
Dude,
easy.
people be calling me medium now. People call me Mr. Build.
That's
People
sick.
call me all sorts of dumb shit. I just roll with it. But yeah, man, the music thing is fun, and I try not to take it super seriously, just as a way to protect me from like the negative headspace.
Totally. Yeah, I think if you have a set of rules, while you're clearly finding your success and you're starting to get this rolling, downhill rolling thing where you're going and it's getting faster and faster and faster, and it's going to continue.
Yeah.
But if where you're at right now, while you still have your humanity and you
Yeah.
can go and walk down the streets and all that, if you can make those set of rules now of things that you're promising yourself for yourself and nothing else, and you can continue with those, I feel like that's how people find and continue success, is when you're not swayed by the success. You still have these human core elements that you stick to, that you planned before, when you were still, when there were still hard days, when there was still this and that.
Yeah.
And I feel like what you're talking about is like a really good way of going about that. And just, I don't know, just kind of a center point, a lighthouse that you always have your eyes on, no matter what direction you're on.
When you are looking for artists as an A&R, what do you look for? What do you look for? Longevity? Do you look for that it factor? Do you look for fucking hot off the press, new, like something really fresh? Like,
to be honest, I think I'm a bad A&R. Hopefully they're not listening to this, because I'm very weird. I go off of my eye from the podcast. So normally the way I do it is I look for the podcast, and then from there, if I feel like this person maybe could be could be helped by the label, whether it was a song deal or this or that, or a longer deal, then I'll make the connection between the two, and that's how I bring him in. A lot of my day is less finding people and more helping build people that are already started.
Yeah.
But I'm not really, I don't think I think about anything but like, if I hear the song 3 times and I want to hear it a 4th and I want to hear it a 5th, if I'm obsessed with the song and obsessed with what is said and find myself singing it or wondering who the person is, like, I think that's a big part of it. A lot of the people that I listen to don't have huge followings. Maybe they do on different apps or different this or different, but like their core self is not this huge artist. And I think part of that is because I have the ability to relate at that point. And that's kind of what I look for. I look for people that sound like they're also having a tough day and they need to work through it.
Yeah.
Because that's, a lot of my days are tough, and they're amazing, but they're still tough days. I'm still working 8-hour days and then editing a podcast for 6 hours and filming 3 of them.
Yeah.
And like, it's still tough. And when I can hear that somebody's honest about that, it's just this right away thing. Like 99 Corolla, when I heard it, it was just right away. I was like, I have my version of that from my childhood.
Yeah.
I remember my first car. I wish I still had it. I remember fucking driving through it when I was drinking and I shouldn't have, or smoking a joint out the side of it, or getting with a girl, or whatever it is. Just like all these crazy, wild experiences that culminate into who I am today.
I'm glad the sadness of that tune was felt by you. A lot of people love that song because it's so boppy. Like it's so catchy and it's fun and
the
it's like,
drums kick
yeah.
ass and they're thick and they're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was purposefully done.
Yeah, I wanted to make a song that felt like this super cookout, like, you know, kickback jam, but I just can't write those lyrics. Like I don't have like sunny day, gonna be okay lyrics. I have like, fuck, my girlfriend's depressed and wants to kill herself, and I kind of am depressed and want to kill myself. Let's go get drunk and do donuts in the fucking Taco Bell parking lot.
Man,
and make that song feel like it's fun.
But that's, I feel like if you didn't do that, it wouldn't be honest, because the way you went about it is, I think, how most people are trying to feel. They're trying to feel upbeat when they're not. You know, you need that back. You need that fucking, that drum groove behind it is fun, and you could put that behind some pop song if you wanted.
Yeah.
But the lyrics behind it allow like room for the mind to sway, to grow, to understand that just because it looks fun doesn't mean that it was fun when it was happening. It's just like, I don't know, retrospect is the killer of all bullshit.
Yeah.
And it kind of packages that into one little deal. It's you get the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love that song. My girlfriend and I listen to it a lot, let alone a bunch of the other songs. But that was the one. That was the one when I was listening to it, the first song I heard, where it was that moment where it was like, I bet you I'd like this person.
Yeah.
And that's a nice feeling.
And I think that's something I definitely look for when I'm listening and when I'm shuffling new artists. Like when I'm curious about the bio, you know, and I'm like, where are they from? What are they up to? Like when I want to see their Instagram, you know, to me, that's like, okay, this song has like gone from passive listening to it's something grabbed me. Totally. And now I'm like pulling over and I'm looking at who they are and like,
well, we're in a day of age where you only have one shot to get most people's attention. They're not listening to your 12-song album where they hate 5 songs, but they're obsessed with 2. You know, they're that one song that flies through that playlist where they're hardly paying attention anyways. If you can be the person that gets them to go, what was that? And replay it one more time, you've got them. You got something. I mean, you've done something that everybody else has not done in that playlist. And you're up against people that are somebody else's favorite.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, you don't need to look for everybody. You just need to look for the people that are looking for you.
Yeah.
And help intersect that. Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of what you're doing.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's been hard for me to process people knowing about it. Like,
I get it.
I've been doing it for a while, like by myself in a vacuum. And, so like, you know, selling out that show in Genghis-Khan the other day, like 100 people, like some of them I knew, but not a lot of them. Yeah. And that made me.
And it's not in your home.
Yeah.
This is across the country.
Yeah. I've spent like 0 time here. So it's just
you
like
live in
a
Alaska.
sweet thing. Yeah. And, I know it's a lot of industry kids that we're all trying to kind of come up together. There's a little bit of that kind of coolness, which I like being welcomed into that friend group. Like
it's community.
Yeah. Like Mikey coming out to school night. Like that was super sweet. Meant a lot, you know? And maybe those are some of the friends I can create if Grace and I move here. But like, yeah, it's trippy. It's trippy.
It's trippy. It absolutely is. And it's interesting because you only know it from your perspective and what it's been. And it's a weird thing to understand that your perspective is going to have to change just based off the fact that there's more people who want to know who you are and enjoy you and find not just comfortability, but I don't even know, just like people are spending the few minutes they have in their whole day that make up the few hours that they have in their week and the few days they have in the whatever. They have so little time in their life, and they're choosing to spend it not just 3 minutes of your track, but your track 500 times.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure during the Spotify rap thing, I think it's the stupidest thing and I think it's the best thing all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's amazing because it makes fans become bigger fans. And it makes them so excited and proud to be your fan. I had both feelings. I've been on Jack Johnson's 1% for 6 years. 6 years. I make the farthest music from what he makes, like nothing similar. like he's the most fucking PG, clean cut dude, and
Yeah.
I'm mushrooms and talking about tripping balls. And yet I've been on his 1%. And I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
So proud of it because I know what his music does for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure you saw some people on yours and you're like, whoa, there's this many people that are in my 1%.
Yeah.
Like that's weird.
If you spent like people who spent 1,000 minutes with you, I don't even know what that is. Like 2,000 minutes, like it doesn't mean a ton, but it's just like, what the fuck were you doing with me?
If
Like,
you had to sit
were
and
we
listen to a
hanging?
song for an hour, that
Yeah.
seems like a long time to keep listening to a song.
Yeah.
That's 60 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
1,000 minutes of your voice in their ears, probably them just living life. And that was the soundtrack. Like you think of a movie and you watch somebody have this amazing moment with the
Yeah.
song behind it. That idea comes from the fact that that's what we've been doing.
I mean, I feel that way about podcasts I listen to. I think that if I saw that podcaster on the streets, I would say, hey. But no, I was at a fucking show a week ago and I saw a podcaster and I was like, I couldn't breathe. Like, and I felt like such a fucking weirdo.
Podcasts, whole different thing. You
Yeah.
can get me in because
True.
podcasts, you're hearing somebody speak unfiltered for hours and hours and hours and hours a week.
Yeah.
As if it was probably more than you talk to 85% of the people you love.
True.
And you're hearing them and you're hearing them thoughts and you're hearing them fuck up and you're hearing them make amazing, conversation and terrible conversation and
Yeah.
all the things. It's like,
Yeah.
I have such a massive variety. I love Dax Shepard's podcast, but I
Yeah.
love Rogan.
Yeah.
I love all the comedy podcasts. I love all these ones. And I like hearing people who in real life, they would probably dislike each other.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't get along. They have different thoughts than I do, but I believe that they believe it because I hear them talk so much and you hear the intricacies in their voice and you feel like you know them. It's weird. It's
Yeah.
fucking weird. I'm always curious when I'm finally going to have the opportunity for somebody to feel like that with me. It's going to be
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be odd.
Dude, that's just the thing. That's what we do. We're making shit. If people watch it, then they're gonna spend time with it, and they get to know you. They get to know us. Like,
It's crazy. What a crazy life that we get the opportunity to live. That not even the opportunity, fuck the opportunity that we're working really, really, really hard to be able to have another day of.
yeah. But then also, like, what the fuck does any of this matter?
It doesn't.
Like, if you had to pick one more day to live, I doubt you'd podcast. Bet you'd go fucking out in the mountains. Bet you'd go
Absolutely.
fuck off in the woods.
Yeah, I'd be doing something amazing with my family and my
Yeah.
friends, and it'd probably be in the mountains in Colorado.
Right. And maybe you'd be like, all right, if I got one day left and I'm bringing all my best friends and my family to the mountains, I'm going to have there's going to be a camera crew.
Yeah.
You're going to have some mics.
Oh,
Can you
it'll
imagine
be
Bradley's last day on Earth?
it'll be well lit.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be well lit.
We're gonna have key lights, fill lights, hair lights, at all. But but the reason that I think I love podcasts, and I grew up where I was that kid who, from 3 years old, there was nothing I was gonna do ever in my whole life but be a drummer. That was it. I was
Yeah.
gonna drum. I was gonna be the best. And I promise, now being 26, I'm not the best.
Yeah.
And the way things changed, and what I realized is, I'm obsessed with music. I'm obsessed with playing music and being a producer and an artist and all these different things, and that will forever be my joy. But what I love more than anything is being with people who also love this and talking with them and learning from them. And that's where all of it stems. I was the kid watching my favorite drummer. I wasn't watching him drum. I was watching him talk about their family.
Yeah.
That's just what I've always been obsessed with. And
Yeah. The human element.
Yeah.
People.
And this bottlenecks music into the one part of music that to me connects more than anything. And that's probably what I'd be doing on my last day, is having conversation.
Yeah.
And it's all, the only difference is this one's filmed, even though that one will be filmed.
Yeah.
Be Alexa cameras.
Damn. Literally. I was like, would you podcast? And you were like, yes. Which that's amazing. That's the motherfucker that should be fucking talking to people. It's not, this is a bullshit take, but like, there's some people out here doing music that I don't think want to do music.
Mm-mm.
People doing industry shit that I'm like, this isn't even like your first pick. Like, you wanted to be
But
like,
you don't have to worry about them. They're not going to be there.
no, I'm not worried about them. I'm sad for them, and I'm sad for the weight of the the fucking trampoline we're all standing on when there's more people standing on it than want to be on it.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think we're finally in the day of age where you can be the biggest artist and still not share a single fan with the other biggest artist.
Yeah.
And I agree if it was albums that needed to be sold or like how it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. But I think we're finally, as of the past 5-6 years, I think we finally hit the point where there is no such thing as competition when it comes to 99.9% of this industry.
Yeah.
I think the people who are here for the wrong reason won't be here for long.
Yeah.
Or they're going to find their reason. And hopefully they do. I hope they get to feel that feeling that.
Dude, that's such a good, hopeful take. Is it? Yeah. Like, I hope that if this is not the fucking last stop on their train, they will get off where they're supposed to be.
And maybe they realize they end up having that moment where they're in a session and they have nothing to contribute. And it breaks their heart so much that they go become the hardest working musician.
Yeah.
And they find the same solace, the same joy, the same contentment that we get out of knowing that this is what we get to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that becomes theirs. Or it won't. And they're going to become some fucking movie exec or a banker or whatever. Something that I've been thinking about a lot is one thing that I'd like to become better at is allowing people to have their first job, no matter what that job is, or their first jobs, like being a social media star.
Yeah.
Maybe that is just your first job.
Yeah.
And maybe that was just to show you that you hate the way people are looked at when they're not doing their art or whatever it is. And now I am going to go put in 500% into my art.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I feel like part of what makes somebody amazing is the fact that they are just doing their thing, no matter what weird directions that goes. And it's part of the reason that I love what you're doing is it seems so accurate to who you are as a human. Getting to meet you is just like, sometimes it's like, don't meet the people whose art you love, but sometimes do.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they're going to be the people that become a lifelong friend. And like,
do you feel like this is more of a hustle or a passion?
Passion, by far. Music became a hustle. And that's when I realized a couple years ago or a year ago when I had the energy to do every podcast and to do 4 in a row. And if I was having the shittiest day, there was part of me that could just go, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that for music. And I stopped being scared to do podcasts. I still am scared to do sessions. I'm afraid that I'm going to mess up the thing that I promised to myself that I was going to be good at.
Yeah.
I never promised myself this. This was so random and there was no thought until it was 100% everything.
Yeah.
There was no build.
This is all extra. This is the candy. This is the whipped cream.
Yeah. I worked really hard to realize that I was doing the wrong thing. I wasn't in the wrong place. I was just looking the wrong direction while I was there. Because this is still, to me, I'm making music right now. This is me being an artist, being a musician, being a producer, but just using the knowledge that I've worked so hard to learn and been so obsessed with. And now I get to meet the people whose music is the score to my life and helps me get up in the morning. And it's just, it's fucking magic. I will do this every day I can for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to play guitar for the rest of my life or drum. I don't know if my body will let me, but I promise I'll be talking to people until the fucking day I die. I love this shit.
Were you a chatty kid?
Yeah. I've always talked
Me
way
too.
too much.
Yeah. I was always getting in trouble for making friends.
I'm still the person, and I realize it and I count it, and I probably should change it a bit, but I don't. But I'm still the person who every conversation on the phone that I have, they hang up first. Every time.
Dude, you know who you are.
I'm happy. I'm enjoying myself.
You're my Midwest Jewish mom.
Yeah.
You're
I will take that any day.
Yeah, I'm like, that's how I knew who all my friends were as kids, is we all had the same moms.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
and
my
all
mom.
of a sudden I was like, oh, all my friends are Jewish. It's like, oh yeah.
That's my mom. My mom's the rock, the person that makes sure even if it's the worst day, the day is moving forward.
Yeah.
It's happening. Everybody's okay. Everybody's got their hug. Everybody's knows they're held.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom's whole thing was hugs and food and love and ice cream and it's all going to be good.
Yeah.
Even if the house burned down, I'd be like, well, what's a game we can play about this?
Exactly.
I bet the hotel will be fun.
Turn it into Jenga.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's a survivor's spirit. that I think comes from, our grandparents' generations, like going through fucking bullshit, and like now we get to be assholes who fucking get to fucking drink tequila and talk about our fucking passions and our dogs and like our dreams.
Well, we were talking earlier because we both have family members that were in the Holocaust or are connected to it or that time period, whatever. And the thing I'm realizing is their job was to come here and start from scratch. My parents' job was to start from a little bit more than that and build to a point of comfort.
Yeah.
And my job is to be happy.
Yeah.
I have to be happy. I have to push forward and grow. But if I'm not enjoying as much of this fucking experience as I can, then I'm letting that was my job. They did their job.
Yeah.
Then I'm letting them down because I got to grow up in a version of comfort that they could never have imagined. And if I can't find some sort of joy in that, if I can't smile and hopefully help as many people as possible, then I'm not working as hard as they did, and they don't deserve that.
Damn. My dad always relates it to if you can help someone forget their day for 1 second, if you can say some people don't have the ability to go surfing, but they have the ability to go down to the fucking coffee shop and see you playing open mic. His thing is like light yourself on fire, go fucking hard, and maybe that person who's had the worst day of their life will be sitting back there fucking drinking themselves numb, and they're gonna have a moment of like peace.
Absolutely.
And forget themselves watching you do your thing. And that might be this person swiping right now to this interview. It's like, maybe you need to put your phone down right now and walk away and go outside. Maybe you need to, listen to fucking your favorite song. But like when I play live, I just want to be in it, and I want to be in my emotions and allow you as the end user to be able to access your emotions. And I don't know. I think that's the gift I get to give my parents and my grandparents, is like, I'm doing something I think helps this fucking dumpster fire that is, us.
Life.
Yeah.
But you're also doing that for your fans and for the people that are gaining that same experience that you're getting from your family and giving to your family. They're gaining that off of your music and the stories you're telling. You could be a musician and not a storyteller and still be very successful, but are you still telling and helping that many people?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. I could be in sales and just take people out for drinks and be charming and be funny
and enjoy your life and have a beautiful life and have a great family. But are you doing what you're here to do?
Yeah.
Probably not. There's a lot of people who that is what they're here to do, and they're doing a damn good job, and I hope they have the greatest life, but I'm not them. You're not them.
Also, my shit might change. In 5 years, my calling might be different.
Absolutely.
I might need to live on a farm and raise little dogs and just jog every morning.
Man, if when this all works out, I'm going to have my girlfriend and I will have a beautiful house, and we'll have whatever we need. Our family will have houses. Then we'll have a house out in the mountains with a fucking massive garden, bunch of animals. I want to know that before I can start anything that I'm excited to do for the day, all my chores have to be done. All of the animals. I want a commitment that you can't forget about, that keeps you in it and keeps you moving and young, and have some beautiful studios, bunch that people can rent out for a month to do their album and have their kids there and have dinner together. And
do you put physical movement on chores or on play? Say this dream life, does like going on a long jog or going and getting a ski in, is that count? Is that going to be on the 6 a.m. to noon side, or is that going to be on the noon to 6 p.m. side?
Noon to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, I want something where I have a commitment that isn't just joy for me.
Yeah.
Like there's something that I like about having to do something in order to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Like me going skiing maybe keeps the ball rolling in my head. It keeps me excited and happy. But I want something that's more sustainable for keeping me tough and excited about what's after that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I want them both. If I could do it right, then I would have my 4 or 5 hours a day to do a podcast or two a day. And outside of that is family and fun.
Yeah.
And with that will come more opportunity and more ability to talk about things and have life experiences.
Yeah.
What about you?
Dude, choring is underrated, right? Like, you know, we get a bunch of snow, and like I fucking hate snow blowing and sweeping and plowing and shit, but like you go out there for an hour and you make your path and your car fits nice, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm on some shit.
Yeah.
Cleaning the garage out, like feeding the dogs. Like I have to run the dogs, right? That's partially one of my chores. So like running the dogs at 10 a.m. in the morning, like after Grace goes to work and I kind of have a couple hours myself, like that's a chore that feeds both of us.
Absolutely.
I get high on that, they get high on that. And then I don't feel bad about being like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go downstairs and like make a beat for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And maybe Huey will kind of groan at me like, hey, I'm bored. But I'm like, fucker, we did our thing.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like,
this is my time now.
Yeah.
You earn your next hour.
Yeah.
David Goggins, you know who David Goggins is?
Yeah.
So he just had a podcast and he was talking about how he doesn't take breaks, like full breaks. He allows breaks throughout the day. And it's so interesting because you think of so many people and you think of him as the hardest worker, and he is, but he's also figured out a way to enjoy life in between. And like when he eats. He doesn't work. He doesn't watch something. He just eats and enjoys himself and thinks and rests and has these like certain moments in life where they're just dedicated to him being, you know, a human that also needs a second versus waiting 2 months until your vacation comes up.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you can find those moments too in like what you're saying, like a chore is running the dogs, but a chore is not running for yourself. That's for you. They just happen to be getting done at the same time.
Dude, Goggins is a present kind of character, you know. I've been seeking in my like therapy and in my own mental practices is like, how can I be more present? Because I'm this year, especially with like music kind of starting to go in my favor, I've spent a lot of times like not present, distracted. I'll go to the gym and I'll like be on the Stairmaster and I'll be like looking at emails and Instagram, and it's like it doesn't do me any favors. Like the multitasking thing doesn't really work. Like watching your favorite show and like fucking posting TikToks. It's like I'm not doing that very well, and I'm not sponging this. Like,
totally.
You know, I'm really trying, especially as if this continues, right? If we're both destined for like what our dreams are, which I think we are, then we have to have a good practice of being present.
Yeah.
And
that comes with your music too. And like, if you're just making it for the label, you're making it for the fans, then you're not present with it.
Yeah.
You know, that comes with smiling when you get a hook and enjoying it and having that moment where you are replaying your song out at the end of the day by yourself and dancing with your eyes shut. Just like, can't believe I just did that. I made that out of thin air. Yeah. And that is my experience, something that I had a really tough time or great time or whatever this experience was. I got to put it in a time capsule forever.
Yeah.
That's exciting. That deserves that moment of being there as well.
Friday night, I played a show and I was asking my manager right before I went on, I was like, hey, should I play this show for them or for me? Mainly, I was asking her, should I get drunk or high?
Yeah.
Because if I get drunk, it's for y'all. Like, it's because I'm trying to be more entertaining. If I get high, that's for me to connect. And then it may not be as entertaining for you, but I will be on my shit. You know, I will be locked in to what I'm intending. Like the drunk guy might like be bigger, but like the high guy is going to be like there, you know? And she was like, I think that's an obvious answer, right? Like for you. And I was like, I just had to ask. Like not every motherfucker would say, do it for you.
Yeah.
And you got to do shit for you.
And what did you do?
I fucking got stoned.
And you did
right at that time. Like
you sounded phenomenal. I saw some videos. Dude. It was phenomenal.
Dude, Eli walked back. He had the fucking vape pen. He hit me with it real quick. Took like 3 puffs, walked on stage, and I just was like, hey guys, I'm really stoned and let's fucking do this. Like, man, you know, I love singing. Dude, I love singing. I love playing live. Though. Yeah.
You can tell that comes out. It's so obvious. It's why I attract to people's music like you and Mikey and Will and all these people who, when I hear you guys, I believe it.
Yeah.
I understand I get that that high that we were just talking about when you make a song or when you play a song, that comes through and that transfers over to the listener. And when you can do that, then that's the best present you can give to the world. I mean, that's the greatest feeling that you can have. There's no drug or person or anything that I've ever got that kind of high. That's such a specific. Oh man, I love it.
I know they fucked me as a kid, man, making me play at church. And now I'm addicted to playing in front of people.
Yeah, but maybe that experience allowed you to be this addicted to be in front of people and allows you to put in the amount of effort that you do.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have yin to have yang.
Yeah, true. I'm thankful for it. I think about the kid that I was, and I'm thankful to him for where I am now.
As you should be, dude. You're a good dude. You're a good musician. Sorry, great dude, great musician.
I'll take good.
And a great speaker too. It's been a fucking amazing podcast.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Anytime. Whenever you're here, please come do another one.
Yeah.
It was fun to also get a little drunk, a little high.
Yeah, as long as Luna wants to come hang.
Oh, Luna's always here.
She's
here
out.
To hang. Oh yeah, she's out cold. She's mid-REM.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, dude, such a fucking pleasure to have you here. Hopefully, once we turn this off, I want to hear some new music.
Yeah. I'll play something. Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. I hope you had as much fun during this as I did. Yeah, I love you all, Mr. Medium Build, and to everybody listening,
I'm Medium Build, and this is an experiment.
Fuck yeah. Bye, everybody. Thank you, brother.